Hello and welcome to this video from Geneva to Kuala Lumpur. This is my first video and also an absolute chaos trip because it is my first solo trip. But yeah, I think it was quite a fun experience, so I hope you enjoy the video as well. We're going to fly Saudia Airlines from Geneva because I'm absolutely broke, meaning that yeah, this was like the least expensive variant that I could use. But I also decided to take this flight with Saudia today because we normally fly as a family with Singapore Airlines or Thai, let's say, and we've always had very good experiences with the both of them, especially in economy class. So I wanted to experience something new with the Saudia Airlines and just be able to really evaluate their service as well as their cabin. Yeah, I just made my way to the gate at Geneva Airport and tried to look really calm and collected. Yeah, but you can guess I didn't really succeed at that because the airport speaker decided to shout out the last boarding call for some random flight, which I thought was mine. So I absolutely embarrassed myself by just sprinting towards the aircraft. Yeah, come to find out that my Boeing 787-9 did not take off yet, which did, however, not calm my nerves because of the recent Boeing safety engineering that was actually non-existent, I would say. But I did, however, have some time to really adjust myself and get comfortable, and afterwards board the plane. And for a guy that is about 192 centimeters tall, which is the equivalent of about 6'3" for my American, I have to say very good legroom, especially when comparing it to the return flight on the Turkish A350, which I'm going to make another video about. Also, it was pretty pleasant that there were almost no people sitting next to me due to the fact that they upgraded their aircraft from an A320 to a 787 on this special route from Geneva to Jeddah. Another cool thing that is especially prevalent on Asian carriers is that you get an amenity kit, which consists of a water, some socks, a toothbrush and some earplugs, which come in pretty handy if they start talking about safety and you just want to have a good night. Another thing that could be interesting for the fellow businessmen out there that like to do business is the internet plan that Saudia offers. You either have the chance to get a free messaging plan, which is of course for absolute brokies and nobodies, or you get the chance of a 50 megabyte 1 hour deal for about $20. After realizing that I was absolutely broke and not a businessman, I was comforted by the food that was served by Saudia Airlines, which of course was catered out of Geneva, which made it pretty decent, even though it looks like the cook couldn't hold himself together for half a second. For the dessert, it was also pretty nice. It was like some kind of chocolate cake, which the Swiss, of course and without a doubt, have absolutely mastered. After that, we proceeded to land at our transfer airport of the day, which was Jeddah, and I have to say it was very nice. It looked very clean and well maintained, especially when compared to other Middle Eastern airports. There is, however, one single downside which is not that easy to overlook, and that would be that yeah, you don't have any idea where you have to go, but somehow you still manage. So yeah, I wish you all the best if you ever travel to Jeddah. After that, I got myself a smash burger and just waited it out in the main hall up until the point where I was able to catch my departing flight to Kuala Lumpur. I do, however, not have any footage because I just proceeded to fall asleep on the shoulder of the girls next to me, which was pretty uncomfortable because, as you know, if you fly economy, that always happens and it's just embarrassing. You know, up until this point, I really tried to keep this video at least semi-professional, but yeah, enter this guy. Professional. Anyways, the Sniffler and I made our way from the international airport to the central station, which takes about 25 minutes and is absolutely confusing because I didn't know where to go. In the end, I did make my way into the city center of the metropolis, inhabiting over 2 million people, and had actually a beautiful look of the Petronas Towers. After that, I decided to get into the taxi of an Indian guy, which just drove me around the block to my hotel, which made me feel a bit dumb, but I mean, at least I was at my final destination, at my hotel, or should I say youth hostel, which was called The Bed. Even though it might be a little bit of a smaller accommodation, I have to say it's very fitting for students and especially younger adults, as it is very central and the pricing is actually pretty fair. As with everything, you can imagine there's always a downside, and at The Bed there was one problem, especially regarding some Chinese fellas, which thought it was a good idea to shout at each other in the shower at 3 a.m. for about 1 hour straight, which was not the problem of The Bed, but it was still annoying as shit. So yeah, make yourself aware of this problem as well. Another present left behind by those nice Chinese tourists was that they just completely flooded the bathroom, which is kind of funny, I guess, but for the Bed staff it must have been an absolute nightmare just to clean up the whole mess, and I really feel for them. So try to be a little bit, or not a little bit, actually just be respectful when you stay at those places, please. After check-in, I went outside just to soak up the atmosphere of Kuala Lumpur, and I have to say, it seems very warm. I mean, not only because it was summer, but also because of the people that were way less judgy, I have to say, than, for example, in Swiss cities where I'm from. But maybe that's also just because I like the culture of southeastern countries in general, because my mother is from Indonesia. So on the first day, no real problems with any people or pedestrians in general, other than that one guy that looked like fucking Luka Doncic and tried to ankle break me. But I guess that was purely my fault because I was so focused on filming stuff, so yeah. In general, I have to say, very nice city. First day was absolutely great, and I really liked the view of the Petronas Towers, especially with the incredible lighting that they had at night. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time, my guy.